So I think there's one aspect to healing from relationships that I haven't heard much people talk about too much, and I wanted to just kind of focus and emphasize a little bit on this aspect of healing from relationships because I think healing comes from an array of different experiences. But one of mine, when it comes to healing from relationships or unrequited love, has just been getting older. And I know this kind of sounds the same as time passing. And I do agree, time always is a healer. And time passing just in and of itself is a healing, has a healing effect on you. And even more so if you use it wisely and you're using it and making good decisions for your life and making a better life for yourself. But, um, man, my focus keeps going out. Come on, camera. Come on, camera. But what I wanted to focus, what I wanted to talk about today was more so getting older. And once again, I know it's kind of tied to time, but it's a little different. Um, Getting older has helped me process kind of relationship trauma, if you will. I know some people get mad when you use trauma with relationships, but and I know there's some arguments, but okay, but let's get past that. So I think that time has helped me deal with unrequited love because when you get older, you kind of look at your past self like as like a child, and along with everything else that happened in that time in which you were a child, like you also look at everything else like, oh, like the people I was involved with were also children at this time. I was a child at this time. Like I'm 28 right now. I'm going to be 29 in a few weeks. So like when I look back at my 20-year-old self, like I basically think he was a kid. Like that's a kid, man. It really is. Fresh out of high school, that's a fucking kid. And when I think about any sort of unrequited love or heartbreak that I experienced during that time, it's kind of silly. I kind of laugh at myself. I'm like, okay, relationships when you're like 20 years old, you know, it's like, I get it. You could have a serious relationship at that age, but in regards to like lifing and having control of your life, like at that age, there's not that much you have control over, unfortunately. There's not a lot of power. And one thing that has helped me heal is just kind of being able to grow into like this adult version of myself and see, you know, parts of my life where I was heartbroken and be able to say, oh, that's like the child version of myself being heartbroken over someone else who was also a child, and now I'm 28 years old and I'm a grown man now, and I don't give a shit about that anymore because that was a child situation, you know, and I think even if I were going to get heartbroken again, that I would still be able to do this, you know. Let's say I got heartbroken when I'm 32. I would be able to look back when I'm like 40 years old and say, that was my younger self, you know. It'd probably be a little different. I don't have that experience yet, so I'm not going to speak on it. But what I'm saying is that there's definitely an aspect to healing from relationships and just in getting older. Because when you're older, you just feel like a new, more mature, more wiser version of yourself. And you're able to kind of move past like heartbreaks that happened to you when you were younger. Because once again, you were just a kid. Like, you know, it's like you can't be bent in half from something that happened to you as a kid unless you and this is kind of moving a little bit away from the subject, but unless you are not working on like processing that stuff and making steps in your life to make a better life for yourself, then I see how people can get stuck. and then maybe people get stuff cognitively as well. Some people, they make all the right decisions, but they still are, you know, maybe still uh, fixated on a particular heartbreak for whatever reason. But yeah, I just wanted to speak on that, on how getting older actually has helped me recover from unrequited love. And now when I think about like myself when I was heartbroken, I want to say whatever age, like 15 years old, I think that's when I had my first heartbreak. It's just laughable. But in that time, it was excruciatingly painful, emotionally, psychologically. But now it's just like, bitch, I was a fucking kid, dude. And like, even like, even looking at when I was like in my early 20s, same thing. Like, I was a fucking kid, man. Like, it was still serious. And like, I look back, I still sometimes, like, if I put myself in that situation, it's saddening. But at the same time, it's like, I'm a grown man now. Like, there's so many other things that are going for me in my life that I don't have to be bent. I don't have to be heartbroken anymore because, there's other things to be excited about. And I am very excited in my adult life, and I'm living a very fulfilling, happy life, fortunately. And all of that has helped me heal. So it's a wonderful thing being able to heal. And it's a wonderful thing being able to grow into an adult, because you're able to look back at relationships and heartbreaks and just kind of, it's kind of like if you were to run into like a kid yourself, like, you'd be like, it's not that we don't take them serious or their heartbreak serious, but it's like, you're just going through it. And once you've gone through that experience, you kind of know what it's like. Once you've gone through a heartbreak, you know what it's like. And it's not to say that you're immune to heartbreak, but you have experience in the area of heartbreak. So I'm going to assume that it makes you a little bit more resilient, because once you've gone through a hard thing, you can do it again, and you can survive it. So that is a beautiful thing. But yeah, I feel like there's still more words my brain can conjure on this subject, but the main subject is adulting helps you heal from relationship trauma. And I would hope, and now I'm really expanding the subject, I would hope that it helps you heal from all trauma. I know there's so many different types of trauma and that range, and to the point it's extremely severe, life-changing trauma. But I would hope that just growing older and adulting in general still is a healing force in people's life rather than a degenerative force in people's life. And I definitely know it can be, of course, if we're not making the right decisions for ourselves and not working to create the best life possible for ourselves. I think that's where things get worse and people could get fixated on prior love, is when they just stay there mentally, and they stay in a state of maybe abandonment, betrayal, feeling, and stay and feel rejected, and don't try to make themselves someone who is maybe more appealing to another partner. All right. But yeah, I've been riffing on this subject, man. It's wonderful being an adult, because you just can't be bent over like things that happened years ago, and that is in and of itself a very healing thing. And when you think about your younger self, it's like you're able to give yourself like a pat on the back and be like, you're gonna be okay. Like, when I think of my, like, let's say 20-year-old self, it's like, now at 28, 29, I'm like, you're okay, kid. It's like, that shit has been so long. Or you're able to say, I got all this other crap going on for me now. Not to sound cool or anything like that, but those things help you heal. And so, yeah, being older and growing older in age as a healing factor for people who have gone through heartbreak. I definitely think it's a thing, and I wanted to really differentiate the difference between getting older and time, because yes, time is definitely a healing factor as well, just like time passing. But I really feel like the getting older and maturing and growing wiser in the wisdom and growing into your power, whether it's in your career or other areas of your life, is something that helps you just move forward in life after you've been heartbroken. So hallelujah to that, guys. It is a beautiful day, the first day of June. Happy Pride Month. Oh my God, I love you, all my queer family. You guys make my world go round. So many of my friends are queer. I am an ally, and honestly, I felt so much belonging in that community, just because a lot of my friends are queer, and I love the absolute shit out of them. So happy Pride Month, and we shall be celebrating this month. So happy June 1st, and let's have a wonderful Sunday, and I will see y'all soon.